I think that we really need to get this inflation under control. Because frankly, if we get inflation under control, that's great for everybody. It's great for the economy. In long term, it's great for crypto. So today is the big one. This just came out 16 minutes before we went live. Today's the big one, reciprocal tariffs from President Trump. So the U.S. President Donald Trump said he would announce a decision regarding reciprocal tariffs on importing goods from trading partners today. So, quote, 3 great weeks, perhaps the best ever. Of course, Trump's always one for showmanship to talk about how great he is and his policies. But today is the big one, reciprocal tariffs, make America great again. So we'll see how this goes. The potential effects of the markets, tariffs have the potential to drive consumer prices higher, which of course is true. Tariffs are a terrible idea. They're a tax on everyone. They increase inflation and create volatility in financial markets. So Trump seems to think that, back in the 1700s, 1800s, when 90% of our revenue came from tariffs, that was prior to globalization. You could do that back then when we're a young country. But now that everything's hyper connected, you can't really do those level of tariffs. It just doesn't make sense anymore. So if I'm hoping that he's just using this as a bargaining chip to get better deals overall, and after we get through this volatility and some negotiation, then we're great. He can pat himself on the back for being a quote excellent negotiator, and then the market's a little bit more balanced in terms of imports exports, and that's good for everyone. So Coin Bureau CEO and market analyst Nick Puckrin told followers on social media, keep an eye on the PPI as an indicator of potential price increases in anticipation of trade tariffs. He wrote that the market expects the PPI to rise by 3% in advance of a tariff announcement from Trump. The Bitwise analyst Jeff Park took a more long-term view and said the trade war could send Bitcoin prices soaring to new heights. He argued that the end goal of tariffs was to weaken the US dollar in global financial markets, something that previously occurred under the Plaza Accord in 1985. So, one thing worth noting is that the dollar strength, the Dixie chart, crypto moves inverse to that. All the retire rich picks and Moonstream picks and your general crypto bags move inverse to how the Dixie chart moves. That means that the stronger the US dollar is, the worse our bags do. The weaker the Dixie is, the stronger our bags get. So the Plaza Accord was an agreement between the US, Japan, and West Germany, France, and the United Kingdom that artificially weakened the US dollar, making US exports more attractive in international trade. The analyst added that tariffs would affect all economies, but would be disproportionately felt by residents living outside the US and lead to greater inflation. This inflation would, in turn, cause the residents of those countries to seek alternate stores of value assets like Bitcoin. That could happen. So let's do one more Bitcoin thing, and then we'll jump out into the broader stuff, which is actually pretty interesting. So Bitcoin bull run comeback. Whale exchange inflow metric nears a 5-year high. So Bitcoin is teasing bull run continuation as whale inflows and exchanges plateau this month. So Bitcoin whales tease the next phase of bull run. Bitcoin traditionally reaches its cycle peak, once whale exchange moves drop from local highs of their own. So since late 2024, this metric has experienced a robust upward surge, although its momentum is slightly moderated over the past 2 weeks without a definitive reversal. Historical trends indicate that a downturn in whale deposits on spot exchanges often precedes a bullish Bitcoin rally. If we take a look at this, decline in whale activity in the spot market leads to monster rip. Increased whale activity in the spot market leads to drops in prices. So you can kind of see how this is moving inverse to that. So the aggregate cost basis for large volume investors holding up to 6 months is just under 90 grand, marking that level, which is held for over 3 months, essential for traders. So basically, whales have an average, not average, but recent whales have an average of a floor of about 90 grand. So they're not usually selling under that. They're using that as a way to average back in as every time we hit 90 grand.